All right, El Hefe here again. I am going to go through some of the prep I'm doing for pushing K41 and Academy and doing all the things you need to do to actually prepare. And one of the things I wanted to look at today was going through the Dragon Talent 3 for active skills. So, big thing in battlefields, when you're building troops, you're building buildings, you're healing, doing research, all those things, you use those Dragon Talents at various times. And one of the things I already did, I didn't want to bore you with all the clicking, but I do have some statistics for you that I've put together that'll give you an idea of what the cost is for that Talent 3. You may or may not have your Talent 3 already bumped up to 40. That's where I'm going to kind of assume at this point. So if Talent 3 on any of your pasture dragons is up to 40, and you want to get it all the way up to to 60, the max, I'm going to give you an idea here how much it takes as far as the resources needed. Now, obviously, the three important resources, or the three required resources for getting your dragon talents up, are the gems, the badges, and the dragon source fragments, or just known as fragments, dragon fragments. So if you want to get one of your dragons all the way up to 60, like you see here, I moved this up to get additional 5% for research, and as well as the construction speed increased by another 5%. So a very important thing as you're starting to think about building up more buildings, or even doing your research, that you've got that new academy that's going. So you don't necessarily have to do this when you're K40. There's an awful lot of research that can be done from 36 to 40 as well. So a really important dragon talent, I feel like, to save you on those speeds. So if you look at the numbers, the breakdown, it does go up in a 5. So from 40 to 45 is a certain cost of gems, badges, and fragments. And then so every 5 increment, there is a change. The 41 costs you 25,900 gems just to get to 41, as well as 240 badges and 175 fragments. So doing the math on that, if you want to go from 40 to, and then also there's again another change at, like I said, at 45, another change at 50 and 55. But the grand total, as you can see here, is 1.27 million gems, 6,360 badges, as well as 3,795 fragments. So that's quite a bit. It does add up, each one of those clicks. So get it as high as you can. You know, you want to do it as you go along. Maybe you don't want to wait till it's all the way up to 60 to get started on those buildings. I wouldn't recommend that. You want to, hopefully you've been saving for these kind of things as they do updates, or you've been adding them as you can. So, you never want to waste these things. Again, it's times like these where you hope you've hoarded a little bit and you're able to make choices on how to use those resources. So I just wanted to give you an idea of that one. That'll be a critical one as I'm starting to do my buildings. The other one is to look at, and I would say too, I haven't done these other ones. I just haven't, I don't have a lot of need for doing these yet. I will eventually do Fafnir to get the training speeds and the healing speeds, and I'll do this one as well to get the healing speeds as well. But again, not as big a priority, and I'm glad I haven't done them, because had I done these, in the wrong order, I would have been left high and dry for some of my attack dragons as well as my wall dragons. So I'm going to take you through those as well, give you some sense of that. But if you were to go through and get, it's quick math, but I'll just do it for you here. It's 38 or 3.81 million gems, 19,080 badges, and 11,385 fragments. So that's quite a bit just to get these 3 pasture dragons up. So if you're free to play, or you just, you're not able to amass these things that quickly, it's going to take quite a bit of your resources to be able to get these up. So again, spend wisely, choose the right dragons, do the things that are going to help you the most in the game, and think long term. So let's take you through these sacred dragons then. The other one I haven't done yet is the Norway Ridge. Now I realize a lot of you may have the Norway Ridge. It might be the only one you've got outside the pasture dragons. You may or may not have it. So these wonder dragons are also very important. What I did was I prioritized Nidhogg. As I went through, I ended up getting them all done besides Norway Ridge. So you'll see these percentages going as you can see I'm out of fragments. Badges I'm still doing good on. Gems I'm still fine with. But I was able to get my Thebes active skill all the way up, so 55% for in-city HP. And then also on Nidhogg, this was, like I said, the first one. I feel like March size capacity in those special situations like battlefields, SVS, when you need to do a push, Throne Wars, whatever it is you're doing, that March capacity is really important. So I prioritized this as one of my first dragons that I wanted to increase and max out the talent 3 for that active skill. Ladon's active skill as well, very important. Kind of lower on the priority for me, but I obviously had enough things to be able to apply it, so I was able to max this one out. And you can see there 45% for both those debuffs, which is a big deal, whether you're attacking or you're running rallies on solos and such. So anyway, that's a good one as well. Amaterasu, there's the talents for active skill talents as well. Attacking mounted ground attacks for those clears, those big clears you're going to do are really important. As well as those debuffs. So ranged troop and siege machine attack debuff. I did prioritize this one sort of mid-tier importance, if you will. It's always good to be debuffing additional arch, as those arch numbers on attack are getting insane. This was one of the first ones I did after Celtic. Actually, I think this was the first one I did after Celtic. All troop HP, whether that's attacking or defending. A huge bonus there for all your troops. I think that's a really important one to do. And then we've got Ziz here with all troop attack as well as the enemy troop HP debuff. So again, a really important one, debuffing all those troops coming at you from attacks and rallies as you're getting hit, or if you're doing solos, you want to reduce the enemy's HP to make your job a little bit easier to kill all those troops. So yeah, in a nutshell, Norway Ridge and those other two pasture dragons I didn't max out. I will eventually get Norway Ridge. I can slow roll that as I get more fragments, but I'm not in a big rush. And just a breakdown of the numbers, as I said before on the pasture dragons, these are even a little bit more expensive. So all your wonder dragons and all your the ones you get from the all-star dragons there, they're all very expensive compared to the pasture dragons. Almost double what it takes for all the resources to do it. So from 41 to 60, you can see here 2,246,400 gems to go from 41 to 60, and then 10,080 badges, so that's a lot of battlefields to get through, and then also 6,110 of the fragments. So again, hoarding these things up isn't a bad thing to do, especially the badges and the fragments. Fragments being the one probably the most difficult to get. You can just join battlefields and get badges, winning or losing, you're getting badges. So, these are important things to hoard and spend in the appropriate areas, I think, for your growth. You might do Celtic Dragon, you might apply some of these to a Wonder Dragon or even an All-Star Dragon and not necessarily max them all out. But again, I think you're on your growth. I think that Celtic Dragon is a really important one to start with. And then you got to make your choices from there and what you've got and sort of what your growth speed is. You don't want to hamstring yourself so long, waiting. But at the same time, just be thoughtful about how you're using all those resources. So, yeah, that's a little bit of review and give you some raw numbers there. So hopefully that's helpful in your planning. As you know, I like to plan and spreadsheet, and it's part of the game. It's fun for me. So happy to share this information with you guys. So anyway, I'm going to move forward here. Now that I've got those Dragon talents moved up for Celtic, I'm going to actually go ahead and get started on opening up these boxes finally and getting started on this big build that I'm about to attempt. I actually wanted to talk a little bit about what I'm going to do, and I'll probably do that as right before I start opening up those boxes. But I'm going to be going through all the list of buildings that I want to do, and now that Cape 45 is released, and how I'm going to prioritize those resources.